Yeah, seems like the YouTube stream is also live. So whatever I'm saying is being recorded now. I can Let me just get the microphone a little closer to my face so it's easier to listen to me. Meanwhile, let me go and edit the stream titles. It is day 36. Nice. I will also keep the Alienware command center running today just to ensure if there are any, hopefully there are no crashes, but if there is any, I should be able to notice if there are any spikes and such. So meanwhile, I will go and start social stream as well, just to ensure all that is being chatted appears on the screen. Is that how you say it? Is the past tense of chatted? Seems like it should just be chat, right? Not chatted. Doesn't make sense. We chatted for a while. I think that makes some sense grammatically. I feel like I have heard that being used before, although I don't know if it's correct or not. Um, yes, I should open Kick chat as well just to have it on the screen. And let me put a good morning on all of the sites that I stream on. Hopefully there are no dropped frames from my side. One day we will be able to integrate the Kick chat with this chat as well. It would make life a lot easier for a lot of people. If OBS just manages to do that for me. Yeah, zero dropped frames so far. Seems like the stream is handling 6,000 kbps just fine. That's the positive thing of having a reasonable monitor. And yeah, I think I should just have the test solution on the screen just so people understand what I'm doing at the moment. I will read the printout for now, because that's just easier on the eyes as well as on the brain. To turn off the fan speed a bit. Is it this cold at 30 degrees? Currently 29 degrees is still too strong for me. I have been feeling very thirsty since past week. I guess it's mainly because the summer is now here and I'm doing a lot more running. So while I'll just solve the questions. Dilemma 5. This is the first time I have ever heard of Narhari Tirth. I don't know who this person was. There is just a bombardment of facts when you're reading current affairs, especially when it's culture and such. There are just too many topics, too many people whose names you have barely even heard of that you need to remember. Well, but what can you do? You just have to. So far, the dropped frames have been zero. That's a positive. See, Avanti apparently is the Minister of Foreign Relations. As usual, there is a bot that is in the comments. Stream Solution is their Discord, and they are using the bot to let people know about what they do. Cool. Keep it up, buddy. I hope you get some customers someday, but not me. uh, This is a bit confusing. When it comes to Pallava kings, there is one Mahendravarman who is called as Vichitrachitta. This is a long dynasty. I did not expect it to go on for that long. That is funny. Aparajita Varman. It basically translates to the undefeated. But he was the last king of the dynasty. Probably that's because he was defeated. Ironic nickname, huh? Narasimhavarman Don, that he's the famous one. Pandyas are apparently, sorry, these Pallava dynasty is apparently very, very old, but the important kings are. It's not even Pandyas, these are Pallavas and Chalukyas. Yeah, 6th century AD is where we really see the Pallavas. That these later ones are not at all important, but the early ones are also not important. So basically, these Pallavas are the ones who started the temple architecture, the Dravidian style typically. Yeah, this one was that. This is the most important king of the dynasty. Known as Mahamalla or the Great Wrestler, he also defeated the famous Pulkeshin Don, the Pulkeshin II. Mahendravarman I, Mahendravarman II, Shivavarman II, Rajasingh. Okay. Mahendravarman I is also kind of important. He was a playwright and stuff. Okay, anyway, I should really continue because there is it's just endless if you keep going into this. Hello, Jason. Welcome to the stream and thank you for the comment. It's nice to receive a comment for a change on one of your videos. What's up? Yeah, I actually see the ones on YouTube as well, but the for some reason the first comment never appears, as you can see probably. I see both the chats on the stream. I don't know. There is some bug with the software itself. It never shows the first comment on YouTube. Ramen that early in the morning. Is that a common thing there? I'm fine. Just studying as usual. Not much difference. I guess it's late at night then. Midnight. Oh, Ramadan is over, right? Or is it still ongoing? I thought it was last month for most people. You're everywhere. You have achieved omnipresence. Then it's suhoor specifically for Ramadan, or is it followed for? You can just eat it anytime and call it suhoor. Okay, 6 days the next month. That is 6 days consecutively, or it can be any days, any 6 days in the next month. No, no, I get it. You fast. Yeah, yeah, fine. I mean, if you fast the month of Ramadan and then fast 6 days, that is, the 6 days have to be consecutive, or you can fast any 6 days in the any 6 days in the next month. Okay, this is what my stream feels like at the moment. You are everywhere. Nice. Right now, more than advice, I just need to execute things daily. I'm not doing anything very complex. In the morning, I just do some push-ups, pull-ups, some overhead press, and climb the stairs. That is also, there is not much help is required there. And in the evening, I go for a run or do I do yoga. That's it. Okay. But I will ask if there are any questions. Definitely. Good to have you, a gym expert in the chat. Yeah, I do. Not much actually, just 6 flights of stairs. But- Okay. Yeah, I have heard about that, but right now I'm not trying to gain too much muscle. Trying to work on overall conditioning. So I pick up some weights and I carry them up the stairs. 5, 6 flights, not much. So that's the plan with that one. Yeah, gaining muscle is good, but you also need the conditioning to go along with it, right? I would like to focus on gaining muscle, but later on. Right now, it's the goal is to stay more energetic for the exam. Conditioning in the sense both your endurance and cardio both. Yes. So when I'm climbing up the stairs, it's not just cardio. I pick up some weights and carry them over there. Yeah. Okay. I will try that one. For cardio, I'm in the evening. I run, go for a run every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You just commented on the video, right? That's the program that is required at the moment because if I clear this exam, we have to go for a 24-kilometer run. I'm preparing for that. It's like a compulsory physical test as well. I guessed. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's all the study of ancient India that makes my guesses very accurate. No, I was just joking. I was saying the study of ancient history really makes my guesses very accurate. But yeah, marathon is not on the plans right now. But I do plan to run a half marathon by this time next year, just because it's a physical test. So the exam has two components. First is the goal studies, and the second is you have to be physically fit enough to go 24 kilometer, 3 4 hours or something. Thanks. So far, the idea is just to give a roundup of the day, see if I'm making any progress or not. It has been a little bit slower than expected, but hopefully I'll get some tangible results by the time 60 days are over. Well, first, yeah, I would say it's for me more than other people, but I would like to make something for other people as well in the future. I think to actually make something for other people, I should be in a good enough condition to advise anyone else, right? Yeah. I'm not even talking in terms of achievements. For example, let's just say if even if I'm not huge, most people are not going to be huge anyway. But the idea is you have to do something every day. Uh, that is improve every day a little bit wherever you end up, right? So I want to do this this challenge of 60-day improvement challenge, like 100-day improvement challenge. If I have done that and then I see some results, then that's something people can follow along, right? Now 30, unfortunately. 30. Yes, 30. Why is that too big? No, no, I really am not. I think since I shaved the beard, you're getting a little confused. I wish I was 19, but unfortunately, I'm not. But if I look 19, that is a positive, right? Yeah, sure. I'll be here for a couple of hours now. Yeah, yes. I will also be back, by the way. Yeah, I'm literally 30. 94 born, so 2024. 30. How old are you? Out of curiosity, just because most people who actually show up for the stream are. Yeah, I was saying most people who show up for the stream are around 16, 17, 18. That's the bracket that is most common here. Okay, nice. You have a lot of time on your hands. If you use it well, you'll be a lot happier at 30. Yeah. You spend 10 years on it, then you will be a lot better position. You will be in a lot better position. You know, the sad part is I sometimes feel like I regressed from what I was at 20. Which one? Oh, the one you sent on Discord, right? No, I didn't. I just forgot about that one. I'll just give you an example. When I was, let's say, 20 years old, I feel like I was faster in terms of calculation in mathematics, and I was a lot more uh, familiar with physics and chemistry, maths, because those were the subjects that were being taught, right? In that way. Because these days I have been studying history and all those basic subjects like geography, history. These are more memory based, and I feel like even back in those days, my memory was a little bit sharper. Over the years, you just lose touch with the skills you had at the times, and then you start feeling worse. Even in terms of running, when I was 20, there was no problem at all. But now that I'm running, I feel those shin splints and such. That's just sad. And yeah, the brain naturally slows down. But the wisdom, I'm working on the wisdom part. Hopefully that will appear soon. Okay, interesting. I was hoping I would just run for a couple of weeks and they would go away. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening. Yeah, I'm trusting you. Okay, makes sense. Okay, I'll just make that a part of the. Like, should I do it before the run, after the run, or just generally during the day? Yeah, single leg calf raises I actually like doing, so I'll do those a little bit more regularly. Okay, and I'll just try to make those a part of the morning routine, right? Evening I run 12 hours, 12 hours break. Yeah. No, no, no knee pain that I, at least not nothing significant. No, not much. Sometimes the lower back pain because just from sitting a long time while I'm studying, right? That's the only point. I don't think that's related to running so much as sitting. I actually did see a physiotherapist about it last year and I asked what is happening there because I never really used to have these pains and such earlier. And she said, yeah, now you're closer to 30 and now you should start feeling all these pains. That hurt. Emotional damage. Yeah, I was hoping just regularly lifting would help in terms of just staying pain free, if not very strong. Actually, I have some threads over that are ongoing family pressure and such, get married quickly, getting old. But the point is, I have to clear the exam and focus on the career first. Once my career is on track, then I would marry. Otherwise, I don't feel like I should put that kind of pressure on someone I'm getting married with as well, right? Just get the career line sorted, then you can worry about marriage. Starting to rethink things this that now because it has taken longer than I expected. Maybe I should have done it just done the career and marriage simultaneously. That's a sensible approach as well. Yeah, that is true. That's what I'm thinking now. So maybe this time I will focus on the exam once. Yeah, that was the plan. I just didn't expect this exam to stretch for so long. Hopefully this year I'll be through. This year I'll crack, get the post and go around looking for marriage candidates. I think I should be the result will come in the next March, 10, 11 months or so. No, I actually have some. In India, there is a tradition of arranged marriage, right? So there are some girls who are already, let's just say, their parents and such are pushing for the marriage. But I'm saying, no, no, just wait. So let's not add those threads. Thanks, and thank you for the offer. Maybe I'll take up that someday. So I'm actually not sure on this. So you said you are a Muslim now. So what were you earlier? Just in terms of the Muslim world, the marriages happen early, right? Okay. Yeah, I think Western world is just delaying marriage as much as they can. Even some extremely successful people are not married by the time they're 40 and such. Just comparing the last generation to our generation, or even in the villages of India, most of the friends that I have in the village are already have two, three kids. Yeah, there is there is a bot infestation on the channel. Usually because I keep it very less moderated. Probably that's why they keep showing up. See, this is the point. If you are going to send these automated messages, you might as well stop by and talk a little bit. Yeah, I should actually look into that. No, I think I've turned off all the moderation anyway, so the bots show up a lot quicker. Nice to finally meet you. And, yeah, I did add you as a moderator on Kick. See if you can use the superpowers there. Yep, it's like you can use it. You got the sword. Enjoy using it. Yes, unlimited power. Yeah, but I can just sense he seems to be a very responsible person. It's just the study of ancient India gives me all these vibes. They just come to me. Yeah, I will. I think after the 60 days, I might take a little break, let's say a week or two, because the exam would be over at that point, right? First, before the exam, I'll just strictly no stream, I'll study offline. And then for a week, I might take a break, then I'll start again, maybe for 100 days. Yeah, they ban you for life if they even see a phone on you. Well, the exam actually has three stages. First is just this what I'm doing right now. The second will be a bit more subjective. That is, you have to actually write the answers and not tick MCQs. Yeah, there is a lot of danger there. Uh, but yeah, and the third stage will be interview. So I can stream for a couple of months at least without just the studies. But afterwards, I might stream something. I haven't actually thought about that much. Yeah, yeah, I might. Studies are not exactly what brings people to the Twitch, to Twitch or Kick or YouTube anywhere. Most of them have already had enough of studies in their lifetime. Yeah, that's actually a plan. I want to stream some kind of uh, educational videos in terms of diet, in terms of exercise. That will take time. For example, I'm just starting to run, right? I noticed that there are really no programs that offer you every educational content about running. Let's just say I have a None to Run app that gives you a schedule, but it doesn't give you idea about form. It doesn't give you idea about how much to run, what pace you should use, and what is expected. Okay, 25 is closer. I think I have to grow a mustache or something so I look more closer to my age, or a beard. It would just take a lot of time to grow, but I think there are people who just grow a very good one. And then you'd look more like a man than a child. No, no, I don't. There are very few dreams I even remember. And usually those I remember are not very pleasant. Well, something, uh, let's just say, have you seen The Exorcist? Something like that. But if you're looking for a dream that is actually not pleasant, then for me, it's someone close to me getting in some kind of trouble, and I'm not there to help them. Those kind of dreams that really get to me generally. No, no, Exorcist is the one that the young girl gets possessed and they have to remove the demon from her. I guess it's not that terrifying for modern horror standards, but the story is just very good. It just stays with you. I'll just tell you one dream I had about that one. In that, I was trying to, I was the playing part of the exorcist, and I was trying to remove the demon, but unfortunately, we were unsuccessful. And I remember the whole house was falling down at the end, and the demon actually looked directly at me, and I think both of us recognized that I was now waking up. That was the creepiest part about it. The dream is just fine, but the fact that both me and the thing knew that I was waking up, that's what. Maybe, but it's partly just worry. I worry about them. You know, the more you get older, more you start realizing your family is mortal. Hmm. Yeah, I haven't read so much about dream symbolism. That sounds about right. I think if I have to choose the kind of dream I would have, the stupid dreams are fine because they don't leave you disturbed during the day, right? Okay. Lucid dreaming is not something I have never really tried. You actually can control your dream in lucid dreaming, right? Or you just remember that. Okay. Don't remember that happening to me. I actually did watch a movie where you there is a some entity that is showing up to a girl in a dream, and she realizes it's a dream because apparently you cannot read anything in dreams. Don't know if that's true. Yeah, I think that's probably something that takes practice. Controlling dreams sounds like a very difficult thing to do. At least scientists seem to think it's just your brain working without control. Yeah, you should try reading and let me know if it works. Basically, that's how she was able to tell apart that the demon or whatever it was wasn't real. It was a YouTube short that showed me. Yeah, but punching it in dreams is fine. But if it's reality, then that's you need to worry a lot more about that. You could make a lot of money off it as well if you can prove that you punched a demon. It would just change a lot of things that we have been believing for a while, right? I think that's the we think a lot similar with respect to all these horror villains. Most of them could actually be just punched or something like that. I think Annabelle Creation was one of the horror movies recently that I was okay. I can't really punch things. Uh, Whatever things that appear in those movies, these are not something you can fight physically. So there is a little credible threat in the movie. You know, one of the worst things you can do for your horror experience is to play games because Annabelle Creation, it's one of the films of Conjuring universe, if you have seen that one. Usually it's like a haunted child or something, and you feel like you can just punch it. But other than that, I was just talking about horror movies. If you play a lot of games, a lot of horror villains are like monsters that appear in these horror games. So you can just feel like you have enough ability to defeat them. Annabelle Creation, I can just show you. Hold on. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, the first one wasn't good. The second is good. Am I talking too fast still, apparently? No, no, not Cannibal Creation. That does sound like a movie, though. You could actually make a very good movie on that topic, cannibal creation. I think in Exorcist, the third part, there is a demon that is making a person commit some serial killing stuff. So you can use the same idea to make a movie on cannibal creation as well. Yeah, I think it will never show the first comment, but it will show your second comment if you start making it in succession. I should actually look up why that happens. So maybe I can fix that somehow. So you can actually see here which of your chats show up on the screen. This one, I remember you saying it was the outside of the mosque. This one I can't actually read, and this one has a sword. So I'm just going to go with the sword just because I like swords. It doesn't show your PFP. Uh, I know three that I can read, speak, and write. One is my native language, that is Marathi. One is Hindi, that is commonly used in India, and third is English. I also know Sanskrit. I can read Sanskrit, but I can't really write or hold a conversation in it. There are several languages I can just understand a little bit, but not fluent enough to count it as a language that I know. Yeah, we had that in our school days, and it was easy to score. That's why I took it. But once this exam is done, I would like to learn it a little bit better, just so I can read some of those older texts a bit better myself. There are actually novels available from all the way back to 3rd century and 6th century. I really want to know what kind of novels those people wrote. Yeah, I don't think there is much difference. I haven't studied enough to actually tell the difference, but Sanskrit is very strict in terms of how much it diverges. So it's probably very close. Actually, the most of the Vedic stuff was passed down orally from one. Hmm? I say people. The Vedas basically started as a tradition which you teach your children, basically, in terms of all the knowledge in Vedas was just passed down. Just one generation memorized the whole thing, then the next generation memorized it, and it was passed down vocally. Finally, they were codified in written language, but you have to be very strict when you're not writing things down, right? So I think uh, the old Sanskrit and new Sanskrit, yeah, yeah, it was originally supposed to be godly. It is called revealed knowledge and such, but it was not written down by people. It was directly memorized and given to their sons through memory itself. Actually, there are still some people in India who have the whole thing memorized by heart, just because generation to generation they have learned every word of it. I'm more in the I don't know camp because I can't really tell what happened thousands of years ago, right? I don't really have to know about that because does it have to be revelation for it to be true? Because if you are getting a thought, let's just say, is the thought not from God? Does God have to appear in front of you to for it to be revelation? I do believe in it, but again, it's Hinduism as a whole is very liberal. You don't have to participate a lot. You can just pick and choose. I mean, most people just pick and choose. Yeah. No, I get what you mean. It has to be from God, but I'm just saying, where do our thoughts come from? Are they coming from somewhere else? I'm thinking as if how would God give you the objective truth? Let's just say it. Does he have to appear in front of you and tell you this is objective truth, or can it just? Yeah, but how do you know that each thought in our brain is from our own? Maybe God sent it to you in the form of thought. That's also possible, right? This is not Veda thing specifically. I'm just thinking that does there have to be a specific event where God appeared in front of you and told you to write these things down? Yeah, that is exactly what I'm thinking. Either God, some people believe that God told them through, let's just say in India it is called as Akashvani or some kind of prophecy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't, some people believe, let's just say Moses went to the top of the mountain and talked to God. I'm thinking, is that actually necessary? That's fine, maybe he did. If- So that's where I'm a little bit confused, right? It was revealed, okay, but do I have to believe it 100%? That does it have to go down exactly the way we think? No. Yeah, I think each religion has their own way of giving all this knowledge. I think Buddhism actually is a little bit different because they don't really talk about God at all. A lot of people say Buddhism is atheist, but it's really not. Buddhism just does not answer the question of God. It's more agnostic. They don't really talk about God, but they talk about what exists in front of you. I would say the most authentic source would yeah, it does talk about afterlife, but not in terms of God and such. Specifically, when it comes to God, it is more agnostic than atheist. So they will never say that our scriptures were revealed from God. But again, even Buddhism has like many different traditions. I think there are 50 schools. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Getting a call. Hold on. Good thing about having a sister they is that they are always looking out for you. Yeah, are you studying? How are you doing? Don't get too stressed. Apparently, she read some article that says stress can lead to cancer in the long run. So she says exam is secondary. You can focus on just feel relaxed. It will also help performance in the exam. So yeah, not really. I'm not talking about the chat so much. Just general. She had some people brought mangoes to her office today. So sure, the liberal cells comes from religions that are preserved. Preserved is a bit different because I don't know why I have 5 years. Maybe it's just double counting both of us or something like that. Oh. Or are you counting viewers from YouTube and Kick separately? I thought you meant there were 5 viewers in Twitch chat. But yeah, I think preserved is a bit. Uh, Hinduism is not so much about preserver. One on Twitch, one on YouTube, and three on Kick. Yeah. But yeah, I was talking about the whole preservation of religion, right? So, in terms of religion, Hinduism is more of a religion of seekers rather than claim of truth. That is, so it allows various schools that can disagree with each other in terms of what exactly truth is. It is liberal in that sense. We were talking about just metaphysics and such earlier, right? So in Hinduism itself, there are various schools of philosophy. One is entirely materialistic. It doesn't even believe in the afterlife. It says there is nothing. You get one life, you live it well, and that's it. No heaven, no hell, no God, nothing. So that is also allowed. Yeah, but that is only one school when it comes to Hinduism overall. So Hinduism is less of a strict religion and more it's a way of life. At least that's what the scholar consensus is on that. So there are schools in Hinduism who say the exact same things that you do. That there is one truth, this is the truth, and this is what you have to follow. There is one God, this is his teaching, and this is what must be followed. But there are also those that disagree. Yeah. So if you had to get one common message, then it would have to be tolerance. Probably the closest you can get to the core of Hinduism. Is people can have different faiths, they can have different way of life even, but they just exist together. Because just think about it like this. Historically, when you look at it, Hinduism is very, very old. It might be the oldest religion in the world. So there have been a lot of changes over time, and it also had to go through that accommodate a lot of different kinds of people throughout its time. So just to put this into perspective, if you go back nearly 5,000 years, that's when we see the oldest, some of not even the oldest, some of the relics of basic gods, that is, the more famous gods have been found since then. So there was one Indus Valley civilization which had some of the relics. Then came the supposed. I'll just give you like a basic chronology of India for you to understand this better. Yeah, this is a bot that shows up very regularly. Not the bot, but the message. If you look at India, yeah, I will try to find out where Twitch has hidden the mod setting and give you a mod here as well. But yeah, I was saying if you look at India overall, the whole uh, yeah, so this is where the earlier civilization was, and it's not the earliest civilization, it's the earliest urban civilization. Yeah, it's a very nice place, diverse place to live. You can live at the mountaintop. Yeah, there is a lot of stuff. Yeah, if you look at it, the ancient people lived in this region, in these mountains and such. There are like short mountains here, but the most important urban culture was around 4,500 years ago. This is considered the most advanced civilization of the world at that time because they had proper planned cities, they had completely urban structures. They didn't even use stones, they used proper burnt bricks, like furnace burnt bricks, and that was 4,500 years ago or so. And it was in this region, but no, 4,500 to 5,000 years ago. So let's just say 2,500 BC. So the Indus Valley civilization, Nile civilization of Egypt, and some part of Chinese civilization are some of the oldest civilizations of the time. That's where you can trace the earliest traces of Hinduism. So from around 5,000 BC to let's just say 1500 BC, China is over here. Yes, just to the north. This whole part is China. It's actually a lot bigger. Yeah, so from around 2500 BC or even 4000 BC to 1500 BC, we had this civilization over here. It's called the Indus Valley civilization because of the Indus River. But then it started the second civilization, what is called as the Vedic civilization, right? So the Vedic civilization starts somewhere around 1600 BC. 1600. It is said that the people came from up north, that is from Central Asia and yeah, Central Asia region. Some people believe that they came from up north. Some people believe that they are actually indigenous. The latest research seems to suggest that they were indigenous. But again, that old history is not at all fixed. We just try to guess what happened. But that's the idea. Around 1000 BC, that is around 3 to 4,000 years ago, the civilization was in this region. You see this whole red portion marked Single Valley? That's where the Vedic civilization flourished. So you don't really know if the older civilization is completely Hindu or not, but this is the core Hindu civilization. But this is still 3,000 years ago or so. Then it started breaking down into different dynasties like Haryanka dynasty and such. Then there was a large empire that covered almost whole of India, whole of North India at least. Just some southern portion was missing. That is the Mauryan dynasty. And around this time, there is a rise of Buddhism and Jainism. So Buddhism and Jainism are somewhere 2,600 years old. And see, Hinduism has had some problems as well. There was a caste system that would arrange people into hierarchies, and it had some advantages, but it was not as egalitarian as modern civilizations. So Buddhism and Jainism are sometimes considered just the critics of mainstream Hinduism. Some people don't even consider them separate religions, basically. So that's what I mean by Hinduism being very liberal. Some people consider even Buddhism as part of Hinduism itself. I think it's the Vedas that put them into categories. We talked about this earlier as well. There is earlier Vedas and later Vedas. So later parts of Vedas have that categorization. It's the same thing. You know Socrates and ancient Greek civilization, right? Yeah, so Socrates and Plato, those people proposed a very similar system. That is, they think some people are extremely smart, and those people should be the ones that are taking the decisions at the center. That is that is the ruling class. Some people are physically strong and brave. Those should be working in the military and such. And the third would be those who are artisans, craftsmen. That should be the three-layer structure of Greek society. That was their idea. And the similar categorization was in India as well. So we had four categories. The topmost category is that of scholars. The second category is that of soldiers. Third category is that of tradesmen, craftsmen, farmers, and all such. And fourth category is that of servants. So that's a division given in Vedas. No, you can't really be a member of both. Like, are you both an administrator and a soldier? You can't really be that. Yeah, but Socrates and Plato's idea was it should be based on the quality of your soul, basically. They say some people are just simply more rational, while some people are more passionate. They don't have control of their emotions. They are driven more by their appetite, and those people should be in the third class. That's what their idea was. Yeah, if it were me, I would probably escape. That's why he's Socrates and I'm not. If you want to live an ideal life, you'd have to make that sacrifice. There is really no option there. What bad news? You're from the US, right? Well, I think you should prioritize your sleep schedule because I'll be on in the evening as well. Evening for me, morning for you. Yeah, especially in terms of gym because you are the expert there. I actually have another viewer that shows up on the stream sometimes. Agonis Vrat, he is facing the same issue. Uh, okay, he can't. Welcome to the stream. I think this is the first time I have seen you here. But yeah, Jason, I have another viewer from USA who's facing the same issue. He has trouble sleeping actually. So I have been trying to tell him to fix his sleep schedule. That works. And he says if I fix the sleep schedule, then he misses the stream. Yeah, yeah, religion as well. You do know a lot about Islam specifically. Yeah, I was just about to say that. Can't. Nice to have you. I'm actually studying ancient India, but instead of studying, we are just talking about religion a little bit. Different religions, their timeline, their basic message, and such. Yeah, see you, Jason. Get good sleep. I'll be there alive in the evening as well. So even if you sleep, if you wake up at like 7 a.m., I'll probably be online. But meanwhile, Kant is. Does your username have anything to do with Immanuel Kant? Yeah, ancient Indian history. We were talking about religions, and I was just letting him know the basic timeline of ancient India, so things would make a little bit more sense. I was asking why Hinduism is considered like a more liberal religion. I was trying to explain how it has evolved over time, so many different streams emerged, and a lot of them are just considered part of Hinduism. At least that's the textbook understanding. You just have to be careful when you make statements like this because people have their own understanding of history and religion, and they really don't like when the textbooks cross them. Unfortunately, instead of fighting the people who write the textbook, they get upset at the students or teachers who read the textbook. Okay. I'm guessing there is some delay in the chat for you. So you can just see on the screen whenever your message is visible to me. This is the chat window. Yep, exactly. I'm guessing you're from India now. UPSC, but specifically forest services. Yeah, the results were declared yesterday itself. Unfortunately, I did not make it through the list. But there is another prelim next month, so that's what I'm preparing for now. If I make a guess that you are preparing for your JE, would that be correct? Really, I I think there are some big Indian streamers as well, right? I don't really follow the Indian streaming scene, but at least ChessBase India definitely streams on Twitch. Honestly, you made the right choice. It's really it really taxes on you if you don't make it through year after year. But yeah, all this should be familiar to you now. I don't have to give you a lot of background on WhatsApp. Yeah, that's the smart choice. Which region are you from? Like Delhi or state, I can just say. Do people actually hate eastern states? You mean east or northeast state? If you're just talking about east, then it would be Bihar. Yeah, I think I was part of that group that thought Bihar was not all that great a couple of years ago. But now, after so many years, I feel like none of the states are doing all that great. Each have their own problems. Even city life, which is supposedly crime free and such, it's not very fun to live, is it? So I don't mind Bihar as much. They live their own life and seem to have a lot of fun doing it as well. Yeah, and it's not just challenges. I'm talking about a more general sense. Let's just say you live in Mumbai, you have a proper job, and you go 9 to 5 every day, no problems. That is, you just pay your rent and live a crime-free life. Okay, so what? That's what I mean. Just because Bihar has its own problems doesn't mean the people are. You can hate or just feel better than them. Probably not a very common point of view these days, but that's how I'm starting to feel. Mainly because just disillusionment with a lot of things. I think I started out in very heavy philosophy. You're just here for the first time, so maybe you can just start a topic that you prefer. Thank you for the follow. A underscore can't. I think you probably couldn't hear it, but the bot said your name out loud because you followed. No, I gave the prelims mock in the morning. That's what the solutions are. But if you're asking in general, yes, I'm giving the prelims mock this weekend as well. No, by mock you mean like the all India mocks, right? Yes, I'm giving those. Yeah, it's just okay. Another news person. PD3 Diamond. I think this is the first time I have seen you here as well. Welcome to the stream. Lot of new people showing up today. But yeah, I'm Indian. Are you Indian as well? But yeah, can't I was talking about mock tests, right? I'm actually getting good ranks in those this time, but somehow it doesn't help your confidence as much. If you get bad score, you feel like, yeah, this is just bad and I have not prepared. But if you get good score, you feel like it was just luck. That's the unfortunate part about mocks. UPSC. See, just from the question, you can guess that PD3 Diamond is also Indian. He knows. And yeah, Forum IS mocks are generally good in terms of their content. Yeah, but I'm preparing for forest services. So that's not going to be much of my problem. Yeah, the stream generally has three types of people. First is bots, second is Indians, and third is people from USA who are completely unable to sleep. Yeah, the Jason guy you mentioned, right? Sorry, you just met him earlier. He's having the same issue. The light mode, yeah, I don't think I can change the light mode there, but I can just switch it to something else. I actually forgot that would be a problem for people because I just keep it on in a second screen, right? So, ouch. That's a little painful to hear, but I'm 30. Earlier, the Jason was saying I look around 20 years old. Now you are saying I look your dad's age. So I have ambiguous age. I guess we can settle that. Yeah, well, I'll just keep this in the background. But I also have to ask how old your dad is. Would be nice if we had like got married at 15. Ouch. Ouch. Okay. I look 57. Yeah, 25, 30, even 35 is fine. 57 seems a little bit. I would actually prefer if I looked older. Is it better to look childish or is it better to look old? Yeah, that is true. Always best to look rich and be rich, but still. No, no, I get what you mean, Pet Diamond. Oh, wow. Try not to get my stream banned. I think using slurs is not very approved by Twitch. I do keep the moderation low, but just be a little careful with those. It's actually difficult to believe you are 20 years old, honestly, just from the way you talk. Yeah, Kant, I was just thinking, okay, let's say you're a lady, then it's fine. You prefer looking young. But for me, I would prefer to look like somebody's father than look like someone's son. Does that make some sense? Sorry, I think the table shook, so the whole camera as well shook. Wait, Diamond seems to have the Generation Z language down. Gen Z lingo, as it is called. Even calling it Generation Z language would be outdated. I actually have a nephew who spends a lot of time on YouTube, but thankfully he talks very normally. When he was growing up, all I was hoping for is I hope he doesn't start doing those Fortnite dances and all those things. And seems like he's normal. Plays football, reads books. Good. No, since I am studying and you have studied UPSC as well, I can give you something interesting just to look at. Maybe you came across this term while you were studying. In South India, there were three dynasties, right? Chola, Chera, Pandya. But and afterwards there were Pallavas and Chalukyas. But in the middle, there was a uprising by tribals or some people like no, not exactly sure where what their origins are, but they were not supposed to be royal dynasties. Kalabra revolt. This is something I just came across while reading the old NCRT. There aren't enough records of those periods, so you don't really study so much in the books. But it's supposed to be one of the times where the uh, people just revolted against the existing kings. Yeah, it somehow showed up in one of the quizzes. So the jury is still out on who exactly those people were. When I'm actually reading history, I feel like becoming a historian because a lot of these topics are very interesting, especially when it comes to ancient India and whatever was happening. I don't know why Indian people don't make video games or movies in that period. No, basically there is a GS paper for forest service. It is compulsory, but it's only one paper. There are not several GS papers like in UPSC mains. But right now I'm preparing for prelims, so all these things are just have to be done. Yeah, yeah. Forest service, basically the prelims is common. The UPSC CSE prelims you get, the cutoff for mains is around 90, but the forest services cutoff is around 100. Somehow it's tougher than actual UPSC prelims in terms of cutoff. But afterwards, the mains is like one English paper, one GK paper, and two optional papers. So I have to do geology and forestry as well now. My optional for CSE was political science, but now for forest services, my optionals are geology and forestry. Yeah, but how were you during your graduation days? For me, I couldn't really take electronics because I hadn't prepared that well during my graduation. But even your graduation subjects are not necessarily great in UPSC. For example, my friend who was from IIT Bombay, he had mathematics as a part of his like a secondary degree, and he still didn't score very high in the maths optional. So, yeah, that makes sense. Any extra advantage you can get is good because most people, almost 70-80% of people would be reading geology and forestry for the first time. You don't have to score a lot to get into IFOS just because the time frame is very short. The irritating part about all these ancient and medieval is there are so many dynasties, smaller dynasties that UPSC usually would not ask questions from, but now they are starting to just test you on those areas as well. That's if they stick to the major dynasties, that life would be so much easier. I think the result came out yesterday, right? So the cutoff for last year is 87, and the cutoff for last year was 76. Just, I think 2016-17 the cutoff used to be around 2000, 116, 110, 111. Now even the forest cutoff is at 105 or so. Which prelims did you give, by the way? 2022. Okay. I did not clear that one. I cleared 2022, 3 and 4. I think 23 is the one where they suddenly increase the difficulty level of CSAT. Yeah, no, so you actually also have to prepare for CSAT now. Yeah, that happens. It's honestly pre is so much about luck. It's just sad. Like I have cleared the 2022 pre, 2023 pre, and 2023 forest pre. 24 forest pre I also cleared, but I still don't feel confident at all going into this prelims. It's just how it goes, right? There are a lot of factors that influence you clearing pre. In what regard? Yeah, pre-wise, I don't really believe that. Like if you said if I cleared mains and I got a high rank, then I would say yeah, fine, then I'm better. Which I really believe the time, amount of effort and studies you put in that has actual correlation with your main score. But prelims wise, there is so much luck involved that I don't really consider it a big achievement. Yeah, there are too many sources to really follow. Personally, I just stuck to PT365 and some videos that show up here and there, like say the marathon. And beyond that, I'm not going to care about current affairs. I'm just going to focus on the static and PYQ. That's all. It's just endless. Never current affairs are never going to end. Even static doesn't end, but at least you have some kind of idea as to what to read. Has been working so far for me. Hopefully it will work this time as well. The weird part is nowadays there are too many people who are just giving away everything they know about the exam, right? The competition is getting even worse. Especially since the COVID and all. A lot of institutes came online, a lot of channels started, an academy got many teachers. Just I was actually part of Forum IS mains batch last year, and the teacher was saying that now he has to read like four newspapers just to deliver better content throughout his quality, that is quality improvement classes. Earlier he would just go through Hindu and Express and that would be enough. Now it's not. I think in terms of just looking for a job and such, you took the right approach. Because for me, it's not so much as getting close to clearing and not clearing the exam, but the amount of time you're putting in and basically getting zero output. But I'm thinking, just considering the couple of past years, if I didn't get clear the exam, the least I could have done is just sleep well and go to the gym. Even that would have been a big positive for me. Thing is, you are always thinking about prelims, mains, interview, prelims, mains, and you feel like, yeah, after this interview is done or after this mains is done, I can go to gym or I can go for a run every day. Right now, I'll just put a stop to it, but that never really came in my experience. So this year, I have changed the approach, focusing on all the things at the same time. See, there is not much more I can do for prelims. Just revise the things I have done, update some current affairs, and if I clear, that's good. There is no real reason to stop running or working out. Yeah, yeah, but the goals look realistic when you set them. Right? But yeah, this being positive, and that's something I'm working on again now. That's actually why I started this whole streaming and just making videos, just keeping track of the day. It was a little difficult after the last result. Needed something to just get back on track, and I thought streaming these studying sessions would help in that regard. Seems to have worked a little bit. like the RBI and such? I haven't really looked at bank exams so far. If I don't clear UPSC, I'd rather do some kind of startup or such. Okay. I have a brother-in-law who also gave banking exams while his state services preparation was not going well. Worked in the banks for a couple of years, then he got through MPSC, and now he is a DYSP. I think he's a ACP or something. Funny thing is, I didn't really prepare for any other exams just because I didn't want to spend extra time on that. If I could spare time, then I would just study about UPSC. That was my idea. Seems like it didn't work out very well so far. But this is the idea of doing a lot of questions in terms of prelim. Like just today, while solving this question, I had no idea what the missing tribe was. But just considering how much focus is there on the Northeast and the tribal regions of Northeast, I guess it's probably from Northeastern India. And the answer was actually right. That's the unfortunate part, right? Yeah, that's how you really get used to taking these guesses. It's basically just knowing what kind of tribes are usually in news. That's or just what the current affairs are currently focused on. If you know that much, you can guess a lot of questions. Not much. I was in UST Global for a bit. That is a company in Kerala. But then the only thing I have worked on technically is our own small construction firm. But no, I had no interest in working in the long run. I'd rather just start something of my own or be a forest officer. I'm from Maharashtra. Thank you. And thank you for stopping by. It's actually nice to talk to some people instead of bots in the chat. And yeah, all the best with your RBI exams. Sorry, the IBPS exams as well. Let me know if you clear them. No, as you can see, I get so many bots, mainly because I don't moderate the stream a lot. I'd rather just let people talk whatever they want. Yeah. All right. See you, man. Yeah, I have just been silent for a bit just because I'm trying to finish off revision of the quiz. Yeah, I have completed the revision of quiz. Takes a lot more time than you would expect. I think I started somewhere around 3 hours ago. That's just unacceptable in terms of amount of time I've spent on revising one quiz. But at least it's done. Now my goal is to focus on the PT365 updated classes. Mainly, IR and Science and Tech are the ones that are going to take some. Uh, but overall, what's going to take some time is environment. IR, Science and Tech, environment. If I can finish these three before the exam on Sunday, that would just be great. Very big. Each lecture is around 2.5 hours. That's just. I guess I can jump to Science and Tech updated portion. It's nearly 3 hours. I can just finish it off quickly. Even IR is nearly 3 hours, I think. IR is just 2 minutes 20 seconds, 2 hour 20 minutes. I'll try to finish off parts of each of the lectures today, and that's it. Yeah, I'm just going to close the stream, have lunch, and come back again in around an hour. Hopefully, that would be a more productive session in terms of output. But that's it for now. See you. If you're in the chat, you can say hello. I will wait 10 more seconds. Yeah, okay. I'm going to stop streaming now. See you later.